In this special effects makeup tutorial, we're going to go over 3 different types of fake cuts that you can actually go and do. Now, these are extremely easy and you don't need anything other than just some water-based cosmetic or even maybe some lip liner, pencil, or anything like that that you have. These are the 3 colors that you're going to need. You're going to need red, black, and also white. Now here's the general of how you're pretty much going to do all 3 of these. You're going to start off with a red line, so use some red cosmetic. Again, you can use any lip liner that you have, eyeshadow, pretty much anything that you can go and draw a line with. Take your finger and then go and blend it out. You should be blending up, and then you should just be pretty much moving side to side. And as an end result, you should have this subdued red line that really isn't spread out too much, but kind of looks like something is inflamed. Now we're going to go and make this slightly darker. So again, you're going to go and draw another line over this. You want areas that are going to just be slightly darker than others, so have some lines that are a bit thicker in certain areas, and now go and blend this out again. You're not going to blend this as much as you did with the first line, but after that, you're going to follow it up with another line. Try to stay in the center as best as you can, and this should be a pretty jagged, thin line that you're going and drawing. In certain areas, you can make it a little bit thicker, other areas a little less thicker. Now follow up on one side with some black cosmetic. Again, you can use lip liner or anything that you really have that is a black cosmetic, as long as you can go and draw a line with it. Now on the other side, you're going to go and put some white cosmetic. Now this white line shouldn't be going into the actual red, it should just be right on the edge of the red on the opposite side of where the black is. What you can do too, just because if you do have a line of this white that is just a little bit too bright, it's going to look kind of weird and it will look very unnatural. So as you're drawing this line onto your skin, just go and lightly tap it with your finger, but you don't need to really spread it. And you can also put a very small amount onto the other side, just to kind of make it look a little bit more real, and here's what it looks like after you're done. Now with this technique, we're going to go and move on to these other 3. So this one is going to go and intersect. You're going to start off with one line, and then you're going to go and blend it. While you're blending this, think of where you're going to go and put the other line. I just thought that it would be good to put it around one finger. And now that that line is done, I'm going to go over to this one here, and then just draw this so it connects to this other line. But I'm not going to really put too much cosmetic into the other area because I want to stay relatively consistent. After that's blended, on to the next line. This one, I didn't want to look as inflamed as the one that was on my palm for the practice, so one line down. Make sure it comes to a nice thin point at the end. And now that it's nice and thin, onto the other side. And now I have these lines that are here. Now again, like I did on the palm of my hand, I'm just going to go and outline on one side with a small amount of this black cosmetic, and pretty much go from there to go and create shadow. Now you may ask, why is shadow important with some of these different types of maybe cuts or scars or whatever you're going to be doing? It's important because if you don't put down the shadow, it's not going to look real and it's going to look really flat. So after you have the black cosmetic down, we're going to go and move on to white cosmetic as well, and we're going to do the same exact thing that we did on the palm of our hand. So on the opposite side of where the black cosmetic was put down, you're going to go and trace with some white, and use your finger just to go and dab it so it's not too intense. You want it to have just kind of that little bit of a glow like maybe a wet cut would have on the edges, rather than look oversaturated and fake. Now you may ask, why are we using white cosmetic to go and outline? Well, it's going to make it look so much more realistic. If you've ever had a cut, which of course a lot of us have or we've gotten hurt in the past, usually you will have some shine that is on the edges, especially when it was a pretty deep cut. And usually it will look like this. So on to the next one. Now this one is going to be some fake stitches. Think of Kind of Thing from the Addams Family. After you have the red line down, go and blend it, and now we're going to go back after it's blended out with some more red cosmetic. What you're going to do is think of the little tiny dancing ants whenever maybe you use Photoshop or something like that, but these are going to be a little bit thicker and spread a bit more. So go and put these down and spread them out slightly and leave just a small gap in between each and every one of these. So as you go and put these down, continue to go and draw them, and the last one should still come to a bit of a point. Now go back with some black cosmetic at the edge again, and we're defining exactly where the shadow is going to go, and we're going to try to keep it consistent with the other one that we have on the other side of our hand. After you have the black down, now you can go back and make some stitches. In the space where you have the empty space between each and every one of these little red dots that you put down, just go and draw a very thin line that goes across. If you did have a section where it was touching, where it was the red, it's fine. You can still put maybe 1 or 2 stitches in between. And now we're going to just go and add some white cosmetic, and we can put this on both sides just to go and make this look, of course, a little bit more real. Now, something that I always like to keep in mind with makeup that I am doing that is more so two-dimensional and doesn't have any raised parts is wherever you do have shadow, you will always have light. That's also something to keep in mind for whenever you're drawing. Now for this last fake cut, this is going to be one that has a bit more of depth to it. So what you want to do is you want to make a half semicircle, go and take off any other cosmetic that might have been on your fingers because you don't want to really spread this a ton. Go and spread the edges slightly and make it look like it's inflamed, but try to keep a point and also the middle nice and thick. Now go back over this. It should be thick in the middle and nice and thin at the edges. It should also look kind of like a crescent moon. Now in the center, rather than just on the sides, you're going to put some black cosmetic. And what you're going to do is you're going to blend it with the red. So blend that all together, but try to leave a good amount of the red on the sides. It should just be slightly darker in the middle. Now we're going to define one of the edges with some black as well. And this is just going to make it look a bit more real. White on the opposite side. And then a small amount of white that follows along the black. This is what all 3 of them ended up coming out like, and really, if you're getting started with special effects makeup, you don't need anything too fancy. You can probably use cosmetics that you might already have at home. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, take care, have a great one, and I have other tutorials on my profile.